Greetings, every people. This is your cult personality here at ToonKritic's Name and Tunes, the name of my game. Welcome to Roundtable's Magic, a little podcast.
That was Brett's idea.
You little shit, I swear to God.
Do it again, do it again.
Yes. Welcome to Roundtable's Magic. You know the deal by now. I'm ToonKritic. My favorite cookies are peanut butter and chocolate chip. I'm not alone. You already know some of the people here, but for those who don't, Keyframe, what is your favorite cookie?
Hello, everyone. I am Keyframe, and I enjoy a nice, steaming hot, chewy chocolate chip cookie.
Mm-hmm. Golden Fox, what is your favorite?
My favorite, M&M's, especially when they're warm.
Oh, I freaking love, I remember, like, it was Chips Ahoy Candy Blast, like the ones with M&M's, and them are just like, oh,
they
it's so
don't
good.
do those anymore,
I
and
know,
I think
it's so
because
sad.
everyone got fat.
Lightning Blizz, what is your favorite cookie?
Oh, May peanut butter blossom, fresh out of the oven. Chocolate.
What about Bubbles and Buttercup?
I've never had that.
I think she completely missed the pun.
Oh, now I do.
It went over her head. Okay, it went over her head, most like a lot of things these days. Anyway, Voice, what is your favorite cookie?
Double stuffed Oreo.
Oh, those are good. And our special guest, because we're talking about cookies, and you honestly can't have cookies without our special guest, Tyandaga.
Well, I enjoy quadruple chocolate chip.
Dude, that's
There's so many
overkill!
chocolate chips you can't even see the cookie!
It's just pure chocolate.
I can't even, like...
Oh, it's a reference to Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, my dear.
Well.
Jeez.
Ty, you get a hoof bump. That was good.
Awesome. I like those.
Okay, so today's episode we're discussing is called 28 Pranks Later. This is an episode I've been physically dreading because looking at the synopsis when this came out, I seriously thought this is going to be Mysterious Mare-to-Well 2.0. Is it? Well, let's find out. Let's get this started off with Lightning Bliss.
Oh, okay. So what I liked about this episode? Well, finally, Rainbow Dash was slapped in the face. I know that sounds cruel, but, you know, for the longest time, the whole reason why I'm not a fan of Rainbow Dash, she's like my least favorite of the main six, is because of Mare-to-Well and her ego and her overconfidence and kind of just stuck up like, yeah, I'm good and I know it and you're not. I'm like, I hate that kind of personality. And in this episode, she was being that from the very start, you know, like, you are so easy to scare. And I'm like, yeah, you know this. Why would you do that? And for the entire town to kind of just come together after all the pranks and stuff she did, and to basically just teach her a lesson about, you know, subtlety and knowing when to stop, knowing who you're pranking, because, I mean, I would never, I will never prank, like, Golden Fox, like, Goldie, I hate to tell you this because Keith didn't want to tell you. She's pregnant.
What?
And it's not yours! Da, da, da.
Oh my god.
It's the gardener, Fernando!
I was about to say A&Y, but...
You see my point, though. See, I know Golden Fox well enough that kind of a prank is too much for him. It's not nice. He wouldn't be laughing. He'd be very upset with me. I might be laughing, but he's not, and it's not funny if two people are laughing. That's always been my motto. And so, yeah, I'm glad that Rainbow Dash was actually taught a lesson and she took it in stride, and that's what made me happy about it. So I will pass it on to
drum roll.
I don't know what that was.
Ty.
Oh no, not me.
All right.
Well, I guess...
Real quick, Ty, real quick, how this works, we do this roundtable style. We pick one thing we like, then you pass it on to someone else, then we go in reverse order, and when we come back to you, you say what you didn't like. So it can only be one thing.
Good. Start with the good, end with the bad. Okay. As for me, I probably liked the in-between pranks, the pranking spree that Rainbow Dash went on. I know they're a little childish, a little silly, and not quite as big, but I enjoyed them nonetheless. I was giggling a little bit watching the episode, actually. I know sometimes they went a little too far, and they weren't funny to most, and I know the whole idea of the episode and the theme of the episode was, pranks can go too far, but I enjoyed the little pranks, and I'm someone who enjoys a good prank, and I've got a good sense of humor, so I like that. So I did enjoy the pranks in between before the final big zombie prank.
Is that it?
That's it.
All right,
That's
who
all
do you
I
pass it off to?
I'll pass it off to Golden Fox. Yeah.
This is something that I kind of admired whenever there was a Halloween-based episode or Halloween kind of feel of an episode, like Luna Eclipse, Bats, and Castlemania. I always enjoy the atmosphere, and this episode is no exception. And I just think that they pulled out the whole zombie thing really well throughout the later half of the episode. So, I'm going to stop right there and pass it off to Keyframe.
Thank you. What I liked about this episode, let me tell you what I liked about this episode. I didn't watch this episode. I'm just kidding.
Don't you pull that crap again, young lady.
Liar!
I did watch this episode. Don't worry. Don't spam the comment sections with, yeah, Keyframe doesn't watch the episode. She should be on the podcast and subscribe, yeah.
Not all our fans are like that.
Are you sure?
I would hope not.
Anyway, thing I liked about this episode is that this came from a new writer. And new writers in Season 6, they've either been okay or they've been poopy. This person was more than okay, and he wasn't poopy at all. He was schmokay, which means really you are okay. And the thing that I like is that everything was structured so well. I mean, a lot of people are going to say this. It's Mysterious Mare-de-Well 2.0.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, though, it was done right.
Yep.
Because for one thing, the structure of the episode made it so you could actually want to see Rainbow Dash get her comeuppance. For me, with Mysterious Mare-de-Well, it showed more of the reasons why Rainbow Dash should be happy to bask in the limelight, because she was saving dozens of ponies' lives, including babies. And the town was giving her this praise, so it was like, if you're going to punish people, don't just punish RD, punish the town. But Rainbow Dash actually did stuff that deserves comeuppance. And this is my turn.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I just imagine she has her fan in her face, just like, no, you don't get to talk.
That actually deserves comeuppance. And with the montage and Pinkie Pie actually going up and asking her, and her being like, no, this prank is gonna happen. Then it's like, okay, you dug your own grave, RD. At least you tried. And it's like, it has good thematic going forward and being like, hey, maybe we can ask. And it's like, okay, now we need to take drastic measures. It's not just 0 to 100. It's like there is a little in-between gradient, and it's so nice, and I love this episode. It is so funny. I'm glad that we finally got another really good episode of Season 6.
This is something that Mysterious Mare should have done. Talk to Dash first. And I know a lot
even if it didn't work, it would make more sense in a thematic sense, because it shows that, don't try the super drastic thing first. But
don't assume things either.
Yeah. But yeah, that was my thing. I think I'm gonna pass it off to one of my favorite people in the world. You all know and love him. His name starts with a Z. British Ninja.
Wait, which one?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you do realize me and Voice both share the same first name, right?
I'm gonna give it to Keith.
Okay. Thing I liked about this episode. Pinkie Pie was the only likable character.
Hooray!
Wow.
I loved Pinkie Pie in this episode. She was she knew how to take a joke. She knew when to intervene. I was like, oh, this is fun. Oh wait, no, I have to really focus on the plot at hand. And she was the smart one when, oh, this is gonna happen. Oh, I can plan this out. run us out and get back at Rainbow Dash. Okay, I'm all for this. Because that and the jokes are the only thing I liked in this episode. I'll get to a Toon. Continue.
I think I know what he has a grievance with. But what I liked about this episode, this idea of cookie zombies sounds incredibly stupid on paper, but the way that they made this work, I've complained a lot of times about saying things that were good on paper, but were terrible in execution. This sounded terrible on paper, but was brilliant, I think, in execution, because I would have expected My Little Pony to do something like this, and it's so silly and stupid that it actually works, the whole Pony idea. I would have done it a little differently, personally, but I like the way that they did it here. And I couldn't take it seriously with the whole rainbow on the mouth thing. I kept thinking of Lightning Bliss the entire time. This would be the perfect prank for Lightning Bliss. Just turn everyone turns into zombies.
Oh jeez.
I was honestly not surprised you said that.
But it's great though. Like, I like the whole idea behind it. It took a while to get into because halfway through the episode I'm just like, we're getting to the Pony thing, right? But it's still good, and once again we're given a Halloween-y style episode, not even in the same month of October. We're getting it early. So, they'll never be able to do holiday specials on the day we need them. They're just gonna do, hey, we have a Halloween episode, we're gonna do it here. Okay. Just roll with that, I guess. But no, I like this part. I overall like this episode too. So, Boyce, you said you wanted to go last, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm gonna hop over Voice, and I'm gonna just take it back to Keyframe.
Oh, so Voice is doing his thing last?
Apparently he has something big, so this ought to be good.
Oh, okay. The thing I didn't like about this episode, and I really do like this episode, but the thing I didn't like that I can't really ignore, I felt that my thing is not really it's a mix of a complaint and kind of confusion in just how prudish the main six were half the time. Because it's like, with the main six being such prudes, being like, oh, it's not funny at all if we don't find it funny. And it's just like, oh, you're just being lazy. Put some effort into it. She put some effort into it. You're just being mean. And it's like,
right? I was thinking that's not Rainbow Dash's fault because they convinced Rainbow Dash to do this in the first place. It's your fault this time.
Yeah, they really did not phrase themselves correctly. I knew what they were trying to say, but they didn't say it right. That's what my problem is. Like, no, don't say it like that. You need to say, if you're not going to put forth the effort to prank at someone and knowing who they are and whether or not they'll find it funny or not, then you shouldn't do the prank at all.
The dogs agree.
But they didn't. But they didn't say it that way. They ended up making it sound like, no, you need to put forth the effort because these aren't funny enough. And no, don't say it that way. That's not the problem. The problem is that she didn't research who she's pranking and was insensitive to their feelings. But yeah.
But Bliss, okay. See, the thing is that I find that's my main thing about this whole thing with how the main six were acting, is that sometimes the root of comedy is the detriment of others. And the thing is that half of the pranks, until she started getting overboard, like with the boulder and the brick sandwich. The brick sandwich would have been the thing that I took as too far, and maybe this one. Was that the thing she was doing to her friends, besides like giving one of them a scare and making their thing cake and, well, putting them in the mud, but they work in the mud anyway. So it's just like what she was doing there was relatively harmless, and they're just like, it's like, who put a stick up their butts? That it's like half of the like with the cake prank, I would have been laughing. What's wrong with cake? Everyone likes cake. She even said that she kept the cake. Rare party. We can see those hips, girl. We know you do not eat cake. So, yeah, so my main thing is, I feel like there should have been more than just Pinkie Pie who was fine with the jokes. It's because it's like, I mean, they were all, it's like, I feel like a lesson learned at the end of the episode where it's like, oh, see, we can all laugh at the joke, is also learning how to laugh at yourself. It seemed like there could have been a good chance for a lesson about humility. And it wasn't used here. But that's my problem, so pass it back to the
is
person.
Will calling me? Does he not know I'm doing a podcast with y'all, like, right now?
No, he knows because he was in the chat.
Should I answer it?
Yeah.
Alright. The hell do you want? I'm trying to do a podcast here, buddy.
I don't hear anything.
What
Wait,
he's
what?
saying.
Yes,
Yes, what? What did you say?
live on Behind the Arrow right now. They're even donating to you.
I didn't catch what he said. Something about donating to me?
The WatchPony staff are donating to you right now to try to for you to get them to notice you. For you to notice them.
Oh. Wait, we're all on WatchPony.com right now?
Yeah, have you been paying attention to the chat room?
What's going on right now?
Oh.
Hi, guys!
Hi!
How you doing?
Hi!
Hi, guys. Are you getting your recommended dosage of calcium today?
Okay, then.
Well,
Okay, yeah, thank you, Will. Okay,
Bye,
that's...
Will!
Apparently we're on WatchPony.com right now. Someone actually donated $1.69, so...
Well,
Nice.
69!
Jeez. So, actually, real quick, I forgot to actually say what I didn't like about this episode.
Okay.
Okay.
It's not majorly big, but... The opening with Fluttershy getting pranked... The only reason why I don't like that is because I was talking with some of my other brony friends, and they're just like, "Oh, this episode's terrible now!" Why? Because Rainbow Dash pranked Fluttershy! You shouldn't prank Fluttershy! That's wrong! This episode sucks! And I'm like, whoa. You don't
You're
like...
judging an episode just by only the first 4 minutes.
Did you even watch the rest of the episode? No!
Watch the rest of the episode.
The rest of the episode.
I don't like the fact that this is gonna stir up all the Fluttershy fans saying, Rainbow Dash is terrible, she pranked Fluttershy, and it's like, so? I mean, Fluttershy pranked everyone else, and now, like, this is kind of comeuppance for it, but I don't know, that's just my stupid thing with it. Anyway, Fox, it's your turn, I believe?
I know that this episode isn't perfect. The thing that I've heard most of the time, and I kind of agree with, is that the episode is very predictable. Like, I already... What?
Hey, you took mine, but go ahead.
Yeah, like, it has a huge predictable nature, but it didn't really bother me per se. I just knew that it was predictable, and it doesn't really bother me that much if it's predictable, because sometimes it's the journey that matters more, and I think they did a really good job on the journey part, but...
did they not stop believing and they kept holding on to that feeling?
Shut up. No, like, it really isn't much of a complaint. Like,
But
I don't
is.
mind... Like, that's like the only thing that I would think of, because I'm pretty sure that everybody else has had some things to say on the negative aspects of the episode. I just, like, I don't mind an episode that's predictable, but that's the only thing that I can come up with. So, anybody left?
Oh, but
Ty.
we got
me.
we got Ty.
Real quick,
yeah.
actually, because someone actually sent me a YouTube link to the Watch Pony thing that's going on right now. So, hi guys! Hi, how y'all doing?
Hey, Watch
How you
Pony
doing?
people, I got something special to tell you. You're all looking lovely today. Except for you, Rod! Except for you! You need to brush your teeth again, mister. I knew that you skipped out this morning.
So is this like, is there like a stream
Tie your
watching a
shoes.
stream? Like, that's so meta, but awesome.
It's a street exception.
Yeah, and tie your shoe. You're not raised in a barn.
Speaking of tying, I'll pass it on to Tyandaga.
Ah, nice.
I see what you did there.
Well, step back. I'm gonna say something negative.
Oh,
no,
Ty
the
never says
Canadian
anything
saying something
negative.
negative. It's World War III.
Now, I know Fox said this, where he said it was predictable. I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm gonna say it was uber super predictable. And that was my big complaint with the
Language,
episode.
Ty!
I know, I'm sorry, but I gotta get it out there. Once and for all right? It's been on my chest for a while, I gotta get it off. No, it was really extremely predictable, and I think I figured out the entire plot just from the starting bit. You know, as soon as Rainbow Dash did her first little prank, I knew right then and there, she's gonna take this too far, then everyone's gonna make one big prank to give her comeuppance, and I knew that from the start pretty much. Not to say it was a bad episode, it's just that I knew exactly what was going to happen. Of course, I didn't really know how that was going to happen in the end, but as soon as I saw Pinky kind of looking all off color and looking sick and whatnot, I kind of knew, okay, they're going to do a zombie prank. And then I knew exactly what was going to happen. And I don't know, maybe I just was good at picking out what was going to happen, or maybe it's just me, but that's how I felt. I felt the episode was just way too predictable.
Yep, I agree.
Oh man, Ty,
That hurt, by the way.
Aw.
your disappointment to
You're a
Canadians.
sweet
You're
cinnamon roll.
negative.
You're a sweet cinnamon roll, Ty. Don't ever be negative again.
I know.
You-
From now
here.
on, I vow.
Here, have some cookies. Here's some milk. Go sit in the corner.
Brace yourselves.
There's some Blues Clues on the TV.
Oh my god.
Let the Uncle Voice start going on about this.
All right, so Voice, you've been
My turn! It's
Oh.
my turn!
Oh, sorry.
Oh, that's
Y'all
right.
forgot about me!
I'm sorry.
Oh
I'm
my
sorry.
God, you stop that right now, you little baby.
Well, you're so small we couldn't see.
Meh! Meh!
Gotta be
Done?
more professional. People are watching.
Yeah,
Jeez.
okay, I'm done. Well, okay, since both Goldie and Ty took mine, I have one, and it kind of took Dr. Wolf to point this out for me, and I don't know if this is a good thing or a really bad thing, because
I think I know.
where the flop was Starlight?
You know what she was? This I want to draw. I'm actually planning to draw a comic of this. It's like I'm going to do a series of comics called Where Starlight Was in Blank Episode. and the one for this episode is that Twilight comes in being like, "Hey Starlight, we have a bunch of these cookies. We're gonna go prank Rainbow Dash," and then shows the boxes of cookies that Twilight and Spike bought. She's like eating them, just covered in rainbow stuff. Just be like, oh, like passed out in a cookie coma.
Okay, well, Spike, it's just you and me now.
You know what? Actually, that
She
begs a
dead?
question. That begs a question. What flavor were those cookies? There's some deep horse analysis for you all.
I like to think they're tagalongs.
I would like to think they're chocolate chip.
I like to think maybe they're shortbread cookies with a little chocolate dribble on top.
Hmm.
Mmm.
That sounds
I like-
really...
I like
Right.
pecan candies.
So my only complaint with that being, since she's not been in the episode, and the fact that I didn't notice until another reviewer had to point it out, that makes me sad, because I think, okay, we clearly don't care about Starlight Glimmer.
She's new.
At the same time, I'm hoping that some context will be given as to why we haven't been seeing her around.
Hopefully.
You don't just put a new character into the series and then just forget about her without explanation. I'm sorry, Hasbro and DHX, you can't do
you
that.
communist!
You can't pull a chameleon.
Next episode, they just
Can't do
open with,
that.
"She's dead."
You can't do that. You can't do that. You can't do that.
Wasn't
Okay.
there like a bunch of episodes in season 2 where Fluttershy wasn't in them?
I think so.
Yeah, but we always conclude that she was like probably taking care of her animals at her cottage.
Then
so.
why not Starlight is in the castle studying and stuff?
I guess.
But the entire
There's like a million rooms in the castle. Maybe she got lost.
Why do you
To be
like the
fair,
flash?
it is a big castle.
Lines.
You know what? I like that.
All right. So,
I give it-
is that it?
Yep, I give it up.
Okay, so we're at the last part of the stream. The last guy.
That'll be interesting.
Brace for impact.
Voice.
You can hear the whispers in the wind.
What do you have to say? What did you not like about 28 pranks later?
Brace for impact.
So, This episode left me thinking.
Oh no.
How do I approach this without coming across as a hypocrite myself? So, I've come with the best possible answer to why I don't like this episode. In order for this episode to actually work, all continuity has to be ignored. Let's start at Griffin the Brush-Off. First, it's established that prank pulling is fun as long as you know your limits, and everyone seemed to enjoy them. Now, because the pranks are more clever, everyone hates them. The whoopee cushion was too much for Twilight, but disappearing ink is totally okay. You could probably get both gags at a joke store for around the same price. Then there's Rarity, who has the gall to say, if you're not willing to put the effort required to pull a prank that every pony can enjoy, you might as well not pull one at all. Your prank was sneezing powder. The sewing machine cake was thoughtful and funny. I should also point out that Rarity's a hypocrite. She mentions that everyone has their likes and dislikes, which is fine. Comedy's subjective and not all jokes would land. However, not 30 seconds later, she says the thing about not putting in any effort. Honey, you just said you're not going to satisfy everyone. What the hell? Then there's Fluttershy.
Oh boy.
The thing that triggers the conflict. 1. Rainbow Dash should know not to prank Fluttershy because of how sensitive she is. She even mentions scaring for fun isn't her forte. Yes, I'm
And Pinkie
defending...
Pie even mentioned not to scare Fluttershy because she's super sensitive.
Yes, I'm defending her actions in Scaremaster, an episode I don't like, to point out the problems of this episode. Oh, and speaking of Scaremaster, Fluttershy is back to scared of her own shadow, Fluttershy. Finally, the whole point of this episode is to show Rainbow Dash as hates with her own medicine. Show her that it's not okay to be on the receiving end of pranking. First off, Avenue Q dedicated an entire song to why Schadenfreude is a good thing. And second, this episode implies Rainbow never was on the receiving end of laughing at other people's pain. And I would be inclined to agree, if not for Super Speedy Cider Squeezy 6000 constantly being tormented and not getting cider. She was humiliated and she hated it. Why doesn't this episode remember anything from past seasons? This episode, if this is supposed to be Meridwell 2.0, it's 4 seasons too late. Not only that, but this episode insults me for liking a particular type of humor. I like Schadenfreude. I find pleasure in other people's pain. And I agree, there needs to be a limit. But when the episode says that humor is subjective, but you shouldn't partake in another type of humor because some people find it uncomfortable and offensive, it feels hypocritical. I'm sorry, but I have to agree with Duckman. Comedy should provoke. It should blast through prejudices, challenge preconceptions. Comedy should always leave you different from when it found you. Sure, humor can hurt, even alienate, but the risk is better than the alternative, a steady diet of innocuous child-proof flavorless mush. I hate this episode. This is my least favorite episode this season so far.
Jeez.
I wanted to give you a hug.
Well, everybody can voice a hug. He needs a hug. Give him a hug.
Well, here's the thing, though. I do understand Voice's perspective because this episode kind of did throw continuity out the window. I distinctly remember saying to myself, doesn't this episode belong in, like, Season 1 or something? Because didn't we already do this, or season 2, or something like that? You're right. The continuity just gets thrown out the window for this. But Voice, you have to understand, continuity has not been this series' strong point.
But when it ignores
They were
3
doing so
episodes in
well.
particular in order for this story to work, then I have a problem.
I have one thing that I want to kind of ask. The Super Cider Squeezy point, she wasn't being pranked there. She was just on the butt end of a bunch of really bad coincidences.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't count that. I wouldn't count that simply because they weren't intentional pranks towards Rainbow. So,
Yeah, but-
like, this one, she's on the receiving end of something that was intentionally meant to embarrass and affect her. The stuff that was happening in Super Speedy was just because the plot wanted her to be
A dick.
wanted her to be a gag, but it wasn't
Her to be a
stuff
gag,
that,
yeah.
it wasn't something the ponies were intending to happen to her. It just happened to her because it happened to her. She was the
anything
butt.
Pinkie Pie caused some of it, but yeah.
I don't think, but the thing is, Pinkie Pie didn't do it advertently. She did it inadvertently because of her own ignorance. And that's a whole other discussion. But, I mean, with this one, everyone was knowledgeable of what they were doing. I'm not saying your points are invalid. I'm just saying the Super Speedy one, that's the only real one that I'm like, kind of not really to me.
Understandable.
That was just my thing.
Yeah, but I see a lot of his points, like, especially at the very beginning, because I'm face-palming at the very beginning when Rainbow Dash pranks Fluttershy. It's like, even Pinkie Pie told you not to prank Fluttershy.
Flutterfly.
Shut up. Because she is ultra uber sensitive, and so Rainbow agreed and didn't do it. But here she is doing it, and I don't understand why. I'm like, you're her best friend. You've known each other since flight school, and yet you are scaring the living daylights out of her. Not cool, man. Not cool.
Well,
but yeah.
Okay, here's my point for that. The thing is that okay, Griffin the Brush Off happened in season 1, correct?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yes.
And we've seen throughout the seasons past it how much stronger Fluttershy has gotten. So, and Rainbow Dash is her best friend. So her seeing how much Fluttershy has grown, maybe she feels like she could take it a bit more than what she could have before when a simple yelling by a Griffin made Fluttershy cry.
Yeah,
I mean, Rainbow Dash still says, hey, you're an easy target. But I mean, like, if that was her reaction, if that was Fluttershy's reaction now, which is simply just jumping in the arms of a bear, compared to, like, and she was able to hold back her tears, not burst out crying like she did in Griffin the Brush Off. I think, like, I'm not justifying Rainbow's actions because Rainbow deserves her comeuppance in the episode. That was the entire point of doing these pranks for the audience.
I disagree, but alright.
But however, I think, like, the thing is just, if humor can be crude, and humor can offend and alienate, everyone is susceptible to be a target for it, and no one should get special treatment.
That seems fair to me. Alright, holy crap, we just broke the record.
What do you mean by record?
This podcast is at 32 minutes.
Gray wanted me to point something out that kind of adds to my thing about Fluttershy. Also, I can argue that Fluttershy grew tougher over the 3 in-universe years. The fact she calls the meeting over it proves it instead of just crying.
Fair enough.
And also the thing is, Rainbow is Fluttershy's best friend. The thing is, if this was a stranger, like Gilda, doing it to her, then yeah, Fluttershy would have a much stronger reaction, but Fluttershy knows that Rainbow Dash is her friend. She was doing this for a laugh, not to hurt her.
So, I've realized we've actually forgotten to do this for a while. The rankings. Where do we put this episode at?
Last.
How many episodes have we had in this season so far?
15.
Technically 14.
I would put it on my bottom 5. Not bottom 5, the bottom of my top 5.
I'm putting it at 12.
I'm putting it at 9.
13.
Number 5. I like this episode. I think it was just fun. It's good to have.
No, go ahead.
What?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying it. Despite it all, compared to boring episode beforehand and stuff, it just feels good to laugh at MLP again. It feels really good to laugh at MLP again because some episodes have either been utterly boring or they have just been not good, or they had something that really angered me because that spice up your life and Derby Racers and whatever came before Derby Racers. And it's just like, even with the continuity, this is weird coming from a reviewer, the entertainment value in this episode and just seeing the pranks and the zombie prank and everything, this is one of those episodes that I just look past the continuity stuff just because it's some fun. There's nothing wrong with having a little bit of fun.
Or is there?
No, we're not all. What? Who are you? A brony reviewer that says that you can't have fun if it doesn't fit your criterion?
How dare you?
I was going to make a mean joke there, but I'm not going to. Anyway, we're at the end of this episode. So yes, thank you all for who came by to see this live. And if you've made it this far, what should we put?
Hashtag Rainbow Dash Watch Pony.
No,
Hey now, I respectfully disagree, sir.
Hashtag, it's just a prank, brony.
Oh God.
That's a good one.
Wow.
Thank you. I'm very proud. And come back next time. Will I have watched the episode? Will I have not? You'll see.
Next week's episode, we can't say, but our next guest will be FNGR for no good reason.
What reason are we having him on there?
For no good
good
reason.
Intriguing. Anyway, remember everyone, thank you for watching. And remember, when you look a pony in the eye, never blink.
That's going to be a little hard to do.
I'm gonna add little philosophical quotes at the end of each episode now, because I think someone should make a compilation of them and be like, keyframes descent into madness over the course of the Roundtable podcast.
I like that. Alright, so, if you'd like to be notified whenever we do these little podcasts, we do them on Twitch, so if you're watching, go ahead and click the watch button below, because that'll notify you whenever I do live streams. I do them Tuesdays, Fridays, and Sundays. Yeah, actually, funny enough, right after this podcast, I'm going to jump into finishing Pokemon Fire Red, so if you're still here, stick around for that. If you're not, see you all for the next episode.
Give us money!
Give us.